Hey, house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 26 updates and spoilers. Happy Labor Day to all of our US American friends. And happy Monday to everybody else watching outside of the US. Okay, our house guest of the day is Elizabeth FP. Elizabeth, thank you so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate you so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guest of the day like Elizabeth, check out our Patreon link in the description below. And you will also see down there a link for Paramount Plus if you're interested in checking out the live feeds. We'd really appreciate you using our link because that helps us out a bunch too. So, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed. It's been a crazy day in the Big Brother house. It's been a crazy 48 hours in the Big Brother house. And catching up on it all today, I was just like, because there was a lot to take in, but we have some things to get to, so let's get into it. So when we left off the other day, Quinn had put Angela, Rubina, and Kimo up on the block. His number one target this week is Angela, because he's trying to take away all of our freaking entertainment this season so that we're going to have to listen to him screaming and yelling in the diary room. Now, his actual reason, he said if Angela makes it past this week, she's going to get dragged to the final two. No one's going to want to waste their HOH taking her out. She's basically going to be like the perennial pawn, and then she's just going to get dragged to the end because everyone knows they'll be able to beat her. I would love to see Angela get to the end and actually win. It would just be like the epitome of the season. But anyway, he also just doesn't want to be in a situation where he is nominated next to Angela because he feels like he would definitely go home because, again, perennial pawn, right? So they had the power veto competition. The players were Quinn, the HOH, the three nominees, Angela, Rubina, and Kimo, and then the two extra players, Joseph again and Leah. Hi, everybody. Welcome. So we already had the results by the end of last time's spoiler. So we know that Leah won the power of veto. Oh my God. She's so excited. She's actually part of the show now. They're going to have to call her into the diary room to talk about things. She was very excited about her win because she finally has some power in here, right? Some agency. So she wasn't sure at that point what she was going to do with the veto, but we'll get into it. So Leah and Quinn were chatting in the HOH room. They are celebrating her win. There's dancing. There's blah. And then Leah asks Quinn for his thoughts, like on her winning the veto and all that. And his response has really taken off online because it was something. So again, she asks for his thoughts, and Quinn is like, you're sick, nasty, you're incredible, you looked really cool in yellow. You reminded me of the Minions. I like your smile, you treat people with kindness. You're really funny, you're wheelie funny. Not that. You're really good at cooking. Your nails look good. Still French. Let me think. What else? There's a lot. The word sensational comes to mind when I think about you. He's simping so hard for her. Now I'm turning into Quinn in the diary room. It was a lot. And Leah's response was like, you're so sweet. Yeah, she's just got to roll with it, right? Because he's the HOH. So she's just like, okay, whatever. Just like leave me alone after this week. But eventually they do get around to talking some game. And Quinn is explaining again why he wants Angela to go this week. He says people are going to keep her. She's gonna fade into the shadows and reappear on finale night in the second place chair. I'm sorry, but this description makes it sound like she's some like Nosferatu or something. She's just some vampire that's gonna like appear in one of the finale chairs. But he says she is essentially going to be taking 75K from everyone else because again, everyone's just gonna drag her to the end because they think they can beat her. And he's also saying, I don't want any of us on the block next to her because we're just going to go home and she's going to continue on her merry way. So he admits originally, yes, he did want Rubina to be the one to go this week because he has lied to her multiple times. He's put her up on the block multiple times. He voted out Tucker. So he was thinking Rubina at first, but now he's thought about it more and he's like, no, Angela's got to go, right? He really does not want her in the jury either. So anyway, Quinn tells Leah, I know. Well, also, I just have to mention, he figures other people are going to be targeting Rubina. So, like, he doesn't think he has to be the one to do it. So, Quinn tells Leah, I know you and Angela are close. So, I get that this would be really hard for you to let her go. So, what are you thinking about the veto? Like, are you going to use it? Are you going to not use it? What's the tea? So, Leah's like, I honestly don't know yet. She says, I don't want to put you in a position where you have to nominate someone else. But she admits Angela does benefit her game. She has a close relationship with Angela for now. I mean, we've seen you can be Angela's favorite person in the world 1 minute, and then the next minute, Angela's going off on you and trying to rally numbers to take you out. So, yeah, she's kind of unpredictable in that way. But for now, Leah feels like Angela is really good for her game. Leah also admits she's worried about Kimo, and he is one of the nominees this week. She thinks that if Kimo were to win HOH, he would put her up on the block. Yeah, probably. I mean, Kimo is not a fan of Leah's gameplay. I mean, every time Tucker would even look at Leah, let alone talk to her, Kimo would start freaking out and be like, no, he's working with her. We can't have this. So, yeah, there was no decision during that conversation between Leah and Quinn about whether or not she was going to use the POV this week. However, Quinn did spill during this convo that he has a final two with Joseph. Oh my God. This dude cannot keep his mouth shut. So Leah's like, well, damn, you have a final two with Joseph? Where does that leave me? Where do I stand with you? So Quinn tells Leah she's his number one. And he's like, please don't tell anyone about my final two with Joseph. Please don't tell anyone. I shouldn't have said that. So then he's asking Leah, do you have a final two with Joseph? And she's like, nope, you're all I have. That's a lie. She's got a final two with Joseph called Childum or whatever. She's got final twos with Angela, Mackenzie. So she's making the rounds, but she's telling Quinn, like, it's only you, baby. So Leah, again, is bringing up, it would really suck for her and her game, like, to have Angela go, because Angela is a solid number for her. And she feels like Angela would not put her up on the block if she won HOH. So it's unclear at that point if Leah would use the veto or not. A little later, Angela's chatting with Joseph in the backyard. This is another very important conversation from over this past weekend. So Angela tells Joseph, look, I'm not tied to anyone. I don't have any numbers at this point. She says, game-wise, I know you're smart. You can analyze things. You are seeing things in this game that I'm not seeing. So she says, I trust you. Use me as a number. She's trying to campaign already. I mean, we don't even know what's going to happen with this veto. But she tells Joseph, you can see the house is split like completely in half right now. So you're going to need numbers. You need me. And Joseph's like, to be honest with you, Angela, I'm not the one you have to convince. But also, I'm only one person. And Angela's like, I get that. But I think that Quinn really values your opinion as much as I do. She knows that Joseph and Quinn are very close. So Joseph says, you've come at Quinn too many times. You know, you've called him out in front of everybody multiple times, and I cannot get him to convince Leah to use the veto on you. That's just not going to happen. There's no way that I can convince him to convince Leah. And Angela's like, that's not what I'm asking you to do. She says she's not even going to ask Leah to use the veto on her. She doesn't want to put her in that position. But Angela says, you're close to Quinn, and people are going to want to do what Quinn tells them to do. Like, they're going to want to follow through on the HOH's wishes. So if you could, like, put in a good word for me with Quinn, maybe he'll change his target, and then everyone will vote out the new target. And Joseph's like, that's not the case. Like, this is not how this is working. You've seen quite a few vote flips over the last few weeks. So people are not just going to do whatever the HOH wants. But Joseph also lets Angela know some of the reasons why people want her out. He says people feel like they're going to go home if they're nominated next to you. People are also worried that you're going to blow up their games. She's been known to have a blow up or two, right? And he brings up what happened with Tucker. He used the veto on Angela, and then Angela turned around and was like trying to get the numbers to take him out. So he says it's not just one thing. Oh, the biggest sigh ever from Bowie. He says, unfortunately, this is a pattern with you, and you're not going to convince anyone that you're not going to do it again. Ooh, brutal honesty here. So Angela says, well, at this point, you can use me as a shield then. Please, I'll do anything. And Joseph tells Angela, I don't really see a way for you to stay unless you win the AI competition this week. That's a lot. Like, at least humor her a little bit. Damn. So he says, I'm telling you this because I love you. If you do win, it could be a brand new day for you. You can start over, whatever. But he says, if not, I just don't see you moving the waves in your direction. Ugh. So he says, I'm not saying you shouldn't try, though. Like, you should still try to stay, of course. But, like, he's basically telling her, you're going. So he also says, just to pour salt into the wound. He's like, in some ways, I'm amazed that you're still here. He says, you should be proud of yourself, though. Like, you've accomplished so much in this game. You've won 2 HOHs. Man, Joseph has a terrible social game. He's always going around telling everybody how amazing his social game is and how he was going to win in the end because his social game is like head and shoulders above everybody else's. But like, what the hell is this shit? So anyway, needless to say, Angela was not happy with how this conversation went. So Angela is talking to Leah about what Joseph was saying, and she's like, yeah, he told me that he would not be able to convince Quinn to target someone else. He told me I should be happy I made it this far. And Angela says, honestly, I'm feeling really defeated after that conversation. I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. I feel like she's probably trying to get a little bit of sympathy from Leah, right? I mean, there's got to be some of that happening here. So Leah's like, yeah, it's really messed up that Joseph would say all that. Like, that's not what you needed to hear right now. So Angela starts pumping herself up, saying she's going to win this AI competition. Leah's encouraging her, saying, don't give up on yourself. You're one of the strongest people in here. And she says, it's really not fair for Joseph to make a generalization like that, too. I mean, he's basically saying everyone's going to be voting you out. And she says, that's not how it is. We don't all want you to go. So she says, don't let Joseph put all of that in your head. Okay, so then Rubina also has a chat with Leah. And Rubina is like, you know what? It's probably better for my game that Tucker isn't here anymore. Even though it does suck on a personal level, at least now I can just like 100% play my own game. I don't have to be all caught up in a showmance and whatnot. And Leah's like, yeah, I'm so happy for you that you get to play your own game now. We have seen Leah saying for weeks now, like, oh, I just think it's like really messed up that Rubina's not playing her own game. So this is her time, right? But anyway, Rubina is floating the idea again of starting a girls' alliance. Oh, sure, now she wants one. I mean, she was kind of bringing it up a little bit last week when she was paranoid that Tucker was playing her, and then it was like gone. But now it's back again because Rubina's up on the block, and Tucker's no longer in the house. So Leah's like, yeah, I could be into that. Like, I wanted to do that before we even got in this house. I think it'd be amazing to have a girls' alliance. I doubt this is actually going to come to fruition, though. Leah was later talking to Mackenzie about how Rubina was bringing up a girls' alliance. And she's like, it's just funny to me that, like, she's bringing it up now when it's convenient for her. She wasn't really interested in this before. And I mean, like, yeah, it's kind of obvious here that Rubina's trying to, like, rebuild now because her first option of who she wanted to work with is gone. But anyway, later, T-Court and Kimo are chatting. And Kimo is feeling really nervous that he could be the one to go this week. They don't see Leah using this veto. I think they kept saying it was like an 8% chance or something that she would use it. But they feel like Leah would be getting too much blood on her hands for no reason. if she used the veto. And Kimo's asking, should we be more aggressive in like trying to form a new alliance now? He's feeling the heat, right, on his butt because he's up on the block. So T-Core's like, yes, but I'm still trying to analyze who we should be working with at this point. So Kimo's like, maybe we should talk to Quinn. I mean, he is the HOH after all. Like, be good if we had something going with him still. I mean, technically they have the visionaries, but like Quinn put Kimo on the block. And T-Core is not happy with Quinn. She is very upset with Quinn. And she's like, honestly, I've been biting my tongue whenever I'm talking to Quinn because she doesn't want to say something that he doesn't like. And then she ends up being the renom if Leah uses the veto. So T-Core's thinking about calling him out on some things after the POV ceremony. We'll see if she follows through on that though, because you know how it is. She plans a lot of things and then doesn't follow through with them. But we'll see. Maybe she's going to give him a piece of her mind. I don't know. So T-Core also brings up how the night before the last eviction, Quinn told T-Core and Kimo that he trusts the two of them more than anyone else. But then the next day, he put Kimo and Rubina both on the block. So T-Core's like, he lied to us. You don't just like change up your viewpoint overnight. I mean, Tucker was warning them about Quinn for a while, but T-Core and Kimo and Rubina, they were all trying to like push Tucker and Quinn together, trying to force them to work together, and Tucker did not want to do it. So T-Core says she thinks that Kimo and Rubina should be safe if either of them are up on the block against Angela on eviction night. But at that point, Cam, Mackenzie, and Chelsea, they've become a pretty tight trio. And the three of them had agreed by that point that they want to vote out either Kimo or Rubina against Angela because they want to break up that trio. Okay, so then Joseph, he continued to fall out of favor with pretty much everybody on Saturday night. You know that Quinn's been trying to get together a new majority alliance, and Joseph was supposed to be involved with that. But Mackenzie was telling Quinn, I don't think Joseph should be included in this new alliance that you're trying to put together because he is never going to stick his neck out for the rest of us. He's never going to win a veto. He's never going to use it on any of us. Like she says, there's just no way. He's too self-interested. He is not going to do that for any of us. And Quinn's like, honestly, you're making a lot of good points here. So he's not feeling great about Joseph. And he's getting this from all angles. A lot of people are saying they do not want to work with Joseph. Also, we know that T-Core and Kimo are trying to get together a new group, and they were talking about who should be in it. And T-Core says, I don't want Joseph in this new thing with us because he has a big mouth. She doesn't want to work with people who are just blabbing. So Joseph is out of that one. But Quinn, like I mentioned, is still trying to figure out who is going to be in this new majority alliance. He has pitched like 10 different variations of a new alliance. He has solidified 0 of them so far. But he was making a pitch to T-Core on Saturday night, and he's asking her, would you be okay with being in a new alliance without Kimo? No. There's no freaking way. But of course, she tells him, yeah, I'm open to it. Like, I'm open to anything. Why not? So Quinn is telling her he wants the two of them to align with Chelsea, Cam, Mackenzie, and Leah, which would be a 6. Honestly, I think I remember him saying he didn't really want to work with Cam because he feels like Cam would be a huge competition threat towards the end. But he was basically like, we're not getting Chelsea without Cam. Does he not realize it's the same thing with T-Core and Kimo? But anyway, he also says he wants a smaller core group within that 6, and he wants T-Core to be a part of it. Does he really think she's going to be down for this? He just put Kimo and Rubina up on the block. Like, what? It just does. It's insanity. So anyway, T-Core and Rubina have a chat. This is a late night game chat. And T-Core says, I don't want to be a part of alliances where I have no say. But like, let's be real. If T-Core doesn't get what she wants, she's moving on. If she does not get exactly what she wants out of an alliance, there's no compromise. She is going to make a new one. She says all of these alliances keep falling apart. Falling apart? She put her own allies on the block last week. Yeah, so T-Core, I feel like, is having a hard time realizing that she's doing the same thing to other people that they're doing to her. I don't know, but Rubina was feeling really down still. And she was like, honestly, I wouldn't even be that upset if I'm evicted. I would be at peace. Is it even worth my time to be in here? I think she just wants to go home and like get with Tucker again, right? So like maybe just send her out because her head is not in this game right now. But T-Core does end up telling Rubina about the alliance that Quinn is trying to pull together without Rubina or Kimo. And you knew that was coming, right? We knew that T-Core was absolutely going to spill to Rubina and Kimo. So T-Core says, honestly, I'd rather be lost at sea with you and Kimo than work with that new group. So she says, I'm not leaving you guys behind. And then T-Core and Rubina are discussing, again, the possibility of starting a girls' alliance with Leah, Mackenzie, and Chelsea. I'm guessing they would just like protect Kimo with that alliance because I don't see them just like dumping him, right? I really think that they would be more loyal to Kimo, and then if it came down to choosing Kimo or the girls' alliance, they're gonna pick Kimo, right? But anyway, they need to cover their asses. They need more numbers. So I just, again, don't see the other women going for this. It's just too little, too late. They already have other stuff going on. They're not just waiting around for Rubina and T-Core to start up this girls' alliance. But they do want to feel the other girls out, see if there's any chance of getting this group together. And I do want to mention, I think it was last night, Mackenzie was talking to Chelsea and she was like, if they propose this girls' alliance for real, I think we should get into it. But Mackenzie's like, this would be the perfect opportunity for you and me to play the middle, right? We can have this girls' alliance on one side and then have whatever Quinn is trying to put together on the other side, and we can just do what's best for us. So they're willing to join a girls' alliance, but they're not going to be 100% in with it. Yeah. So let's talk about Sunday. Leah and Quinn were chatting again about whether or not she should use the veto. And I have to mention that Leah slept with the veto necklace on. She was still wearing it yesterday. Okay. that's a choice. That's a lot. But Leah wants to know from Quinn, if I use the veto, who's going up as the replacement nominee? And Quinn's like, I don't know. I don't think he was planning on Leah potentially using this veto. I think he just assumed that she would leave the nominations the same. But he says, my plan would be to ask for volunteers because if you remember, he already told everyone other than the 3 initial nominees that they're going to be safe this week. So he's going to have to like go back on a promise here. And he says, if nobody volunteers for the block, I mean, who would at this point? He says, I would want everyone to pick Skittles, and whoever is the odd man out, like everybody else would have green, one person picks red or whatever, that person will go up as the replacement nominee. And I'm getting some BB Can Martini flashbacks with the gummy bears. I don't think that's a good way to pick your replacement nominee, but okay. So Leah, again, is bringing up that Angela would be a vote for her to win if she makes it to the end. And she's like, look, I know you don't like Angela. Angela does not have to stay much longer. I just want her to make it to the jury. I don't have a lot of numbers behind me, so it would be nice to know that I would have at least one potential vote. But Quinn is like, no. He's trying to convince Leah to leave the nominations the same. And he says, if you save Angela, everyone's going to be pissed at you because they are all already imagining what this house will be like without her. I mean, I think Quinn is, but I don't know about everybody else. And he says, you might just end up on the block with Angela next week, depending on who wins HOH, because now you're going to be associated with her and people are still going to be targeting her. So you're going to go up as collateral damage. Quinn also just like doesn't realize at this point that even if Angela stays on the block, she is probably not going to go. The votes are not there. But we'll come back to Leah and the veto situation. In other news, Joseph continued to spill his guts yesterday. Chelsea was the lucky recipient this time. And first, Joseph was talking about how he's been doing some self reflection. He's not happy with himself and the way he's been behaving because he feels bad that he's kind of like had a mean streak every once in a while. I mean, look at the conversation he had with Angela just the day before, basically being like, "You're going home unless you win the AI arena." So yeah, he brings that up. He also has said a lot of mean things about Matt, and you may be wondering, why is he bringing this up all of a sudden? Apparently Quinn did pull him aside and was telling him, like, you need to stop. You need to stop talking crap about people that are gone. You need to stop saying things like you did to Angela because people are not going to like that. And it's true. Joseph has really risen up on a lot of people's target lists. So now Joseph is trying to like clean all that up. He was even like apologizing to Matt through the live feeds. I don't even remember exactly what he said about Matt, but he was pretty embarrassed about it. But anyway, yeah, Chelsea is trying to make Joseph feel better because she's got an amazing social game, and she doesn't have to tell everyone that she does because she actually does. But she tells Joseph, "We've all said and done things in here that I'm sure we wish we could have handled better. It's okay. Like, you just got to be better moving forward, whatever." And then they start rehashing game stuff, and they're talking about how Joseph is claiming he started the collective, but then he flipped on the collective and voted Cedric out, and Chelsea wasn't happy about that, and she feels like he really let her and Brooklyn take the fall with all of that. So they were like working through that stuff. So then Leah hears this conversation happening, right? So she goes up to the HOH room to talk to Quinn again, and she reports that Joseph is spilling his guts again. And she's like, I could not sit out there for one more second. Like, what is he doing? She's also like, he's talking about all these people who have been evicted before and like how he was working with them. And he doesn't realize people are like noting all of this. It doesn't matter that those other people are evicted. The fact that he is like basically giving out the blueprint to his game is terrible. Like, that's really bad. So she also says Joseph's game at this point seems to be just like trying to convince people that they need him because he is keeping them there. But she says it's not special when he says that to everyone, right? Because he can't protect everyone, especially with his 0 comp wins. So she's like, I don't know what's going on here. Joseph was playing a good game, and now he's just like word vomiting everywhere. Yeah, and we find out later, Quinn actually pulled Joseph aside again and was like, hey, you need to like cool it with all the stuff you're saying because people are starting to think that you're like this major schemer and you need to like really rein it in. So Joseph admits the reason he keeps talking about what he's been doing in this game is because he's trying to make sure that people know what he's been doing for like if he makes it to the final 2 so that he can like talk about all the game moves that he's made. So he's like already trying to do his final 2 speech and we are halfway, like right after the halfway point in the game. That's a lot. That's very obnoxious. I mean, what are you doing? You got a long way to go before you get to the final 2. But Quinn is telling Leah, I think Joseph is insecure about where he stands in the game right now. So he's like crumbling. Yeah, I mean, he was on the wrong side of the vote last week, right? He lost Tucker. Joseph is not great in competition. So now he doesn't have Tucker winning things to protect him. So I think he's definitely freaking out. But also, I just think the ego is so huge that, again, he's trying to like already justify why he should win this whole thing, which is nuts. So meanwhile, Angela is already out on the campaign trail. They haven't even had the POV ceremony yet, and she's going for it. But she's talking to Chelsea and Mackenzie, and again, she's saying, use me as a shield. You know, I'll do what you want in this game, whatever. And she tells them, if I win HOH, I'm not putting either of you up. She's making it known that Quinn is her target moving forward, which makes sense. I mean, yeah, they've had this rivalry for quite a while now. But last night, Leah still had not decided what she was going to do with the veto. And all day she was like, I'm going to have one-on-ones, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to, you know, talk to everybody first and then I'll make my decision. So then like 10 p.m. rolls around and she's like, oh, the day got away from me. I didn't have any of my game talks. A few more hours go by. she decides she's going to start having one-on-ones with everyone at like 1:30 in the morning, Big Brother time. 1:30 a.m. And she does end up talking to everybody. So after the one-on-ones, she talks to Quinn, and these two stayed up like all night. I'm talking like past 6 a.m. beyond. And again, she's still sounding like she wants to use this veto on Angela. She wants that jury vote. And Quinn is trying so hard to talk her out of it. He's like, I think it's too early to be thinking about jury votes. This dude has been talking about jury votes for a while now. And he knows that if Angela is on that jury, she is not voting for Quinn. And she is going to try and turn people against Quinn. So you know that's why he wants her out pre-jury. But yeah, he's trying everything he can to get Leah to leave the nominations the same. He's like, I'm not above begging. And like, you using the veto on Angela is not going to be this big move that you think it is. Like, people are not going to be making YouTube videos about this. Oh, yes, they will. But yeah, he is trying to convince her not to use it. And it seems like by the end of the conversation, she's like, you know what? Fine. I guess you've made some good points. Like, I won't do it. But then today, they had the POV ceremony. And Leah used the veto on Angela. Bless you. Oh my God. So Quinn, I don't know if he knew that she was going to do that. I don't know if they ever had a last minute confirmation on what she was going to do, but Quinn ended up putting Joseph up in Angela's place. Oh my God. Because so many people had been going to him and saying, like, I think you should put Joseph up there. He's been causing a lot of waves in the house lately. Another thing he said, which was like, oh my God. Joseph was talking to Mackenzie at one point, and he was like, yeah, I just like don't see you as a threat in this game anymore. Like, you're good at competitions, but I feel like if I was in the final two against you, I would beat you because of my social game. So I don't really see you as a threat. And of course, Mackenzie told everybody about that, as she should. And they were all just like, this dude is on another level right now. So yeah, we've got Joseph versus Kimo versus Rubina up on the block. Needless to say, Angela is thrilled to be off the block again. I have not seen much of Joseph yet. I did see one little thing like right before the stream was starting. Joseph was talking to Angela, and he was like, so I get the irony of this situation right now. Because again, he told Angela, like, look, if you don't win this AI arena, you're gonna be voted out. So now she had the veto used on her. She doesn't even have to worry about that the rest of the week. And now Joseph is up in her place, and he's gonna have to go to her and ask for her vote. So it's just freaking crazy. This is season 26, y'all. Anything can happen. Another quick thing. We're going to talk more about the fallout of all this tomorrow, but just another quick thing looking ahead to this vote. Chelsea, Cam, and Mackenzie, this trio is getting really tight. They have already been talking about how they would want to vote out Kimo or Rubina over Joseph. They don't really see Joseph as a threat right now, and they really want to break up that trio. So depending on who wins the AI arena competition, it looks like someone from that trio could be leaving. So it's like, I'm also just curious how Quinn is going to react to the love of his life, Leah, going against his wishes and using the veto when he told her not to. I did see him say, like, oh, I'm not like mad at her, but I am annoyed. So we'll see where that goes. But anyway, I want to thank you all so much for watching. It's been a crazy weekend, a crazy Labor Day. And I hope you're all enjoying your Labor Day. But Jefferson Tucker, thank you so much. Jefferson says, what a wonderful day to be able to watch feeds, right? Everybody who's off from work that doesn't usually get to watch live feeds on a Monday, I hope you're enjoying. Angela H, thank you so much. And Angela says, such an exciting day of live feeds. I'm so happy Angela made jury. Me too. We finally got something good. And she says, hope Kimo goes over Joseph this week to weaken T-Core. I feel like there's a good chance of that unless Kimo wins the AI arena. But I feel like he is kind of like target number one at this point because I think it's exactly like you're saying. That trio of Cam, Mackenzie, Chelsea, they see how close Kimo and T-Core are, and they want to split them up. So I could definitely see that happening if Kimo doesn't win. All right, next up, K Diggs 2. Thank you so much. And K Diggs says, get Joseph out. He's so arrogant and annoying. He is super, super arrogant. I wanted to root for Joseph so badly, and I was for a little while, but then he went off the deep end, honestly. So we'll see if this whole experience being on the block humbles him or if he kicks it into another gear. But it'll be interesting to see. Lynn Hurst, thank you so much. Lynn says, thanks for all you do. Now go and enjoy the rest of Labor Day. Thanks. I still have a little bit of other work that I have to do, but then tonight I'm going to fall over. So I'm looking forward to that. PNG, thank you so much. PNG says, T-Core is a bad player, lol. Yeah, I think it's hard to put my finger on it exactly because I feel like part of the issue is like she's really, really stubborn. So when things don't go exactly her way, she won't let it go. But also, she likes to call out people for like Tucker for basically the exact same thing that she's guilty of, and I think there's a little bit of lack of self-awareness there when it comes to T-Core, but yeah, I don't know. She seems like a great person. She's got a great social game. Everyone loves her. But when it comes time for her to actually like make decisions and make alliances, I think another problem is just she's so shy and she's so timid that she's not being assertive when she needs to. So that's causing some problems for her as well. But her social game, everybody loves her. Benjamin, thank you so much. Benjamin says, I'm so happy. Right? It's really exciting that Angela's still going to be here. Benjamin asks, who do you think is in the most danger to least danger between the nominees? Who do you think T-Core will evict if Joseph wins AI? Okay. From most danger to least danger, I would say most danger, Kimo, because I think he would go against anybody if he's on the block. Second most danger would be Rubina. I think she goes against Joseph, but I think she would be safe against Kimo probably. And then least danger, I think, is Joseph. I mean, everybody is down on Joseph right now, but not in the way of like voting him out. They would much rather split up that trio and deal with Joseph for another week than take him out right now. So that's what I'm thinking. And who do I think T-Core will evict if Joseph wins AI? That's a good question. Ooh, I don't know. It's going to be hard for her to choose between the two. I don't know if she would just go along with whatever everybody else is doing, or maybe she would find out what everyone else is doing and give the other person a sympathy vote. I don't know, because she's close to both of them for sure. That's a very good question. I don't know. My gut tells me that she would want to keep Kimo out of the two, but I don't know. That's a very good question. I don't know that she'd have much say in it, so I don't know that it would matter. But anyway, thanks again. And Shane Wright, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate it as always. All right, that brings us to the end. I hope you're all having a wonderful Labor Day. Enjoy the live feeds, and thanks for watching. So, and Robert Speng, is it Spengeman? Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. So, see y'all tomorrow. And until next time, much love. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye.